This is Radio Health Journal. I'm Nancy Benson. This week, an elegant defense, the extraordinary new science of the immune system.
What is the immune system? In a nutshell, I think of it as the love child of a bouncer and a ballet dancer.
Inside the immune system, when it works and when it doesn't, when Radio Health Journal returns.
I'm Reed Pence, host of Radio Health Journal. If you enjoy Radio Health Journal, you'll also like our sister show. Here's a preview of what they're covering on Viewpoints this week.
This week on Viewpoints.
Federal, state, and local governments played a very significant, if not determining role in the segregation of metropolitan areas everywhere in the country.
A forgotten history of how our government segregated America. Then,
the subject is clouded over with so much technicality and complicated symbols, but underneath it all are these beautiful ideas.
How even non-mathematicians can appreciate the beauty of calculus. I'm Marty Peterson.
And I'm Gary Price. These stories in depth this week on your public affairs magazine, Viewpoints.
Listen to Viewpoints on your favorite radio station, iTunes, and Stitcher.
Germs are everywhere, billions and trillions of them. So you might wonder why you're not sick all the time. Of course, it's because of our wonderful defense mechanism, the immune system. But thinking of the immune system as a war machine blasting away at all bugs it meets isn't really quite right. In the words of Pulitzer Prize-winning journalist and author Matt Richtel, it's more like a cross between a bar bouncer and a ballet dancer.
What I began with was an idea that the immune system was this zealous police force that was attacking everything in its path. And I have come to be righted. So what is the immune system? Well, the immune system, less so far from being a war machine, is really a peacekeeping force that has as its aim to get along as cooperatively and harmoniously as possible with myriad alien organisms that surround us, that are everywhere, most of which would do us no harm, while reserving the capacity to do great violence when necessary against pathogens. So, what is the immune system? In a nutshell, I think of it as the love child of a bouncer and a ballet dancer. It's got the capacity to bounce the bad guys, but it wants to do so by treading as lightly as possible. And therein comes the ballet dancer, or put succinctly, your elegant defense.
Richtel's book, An Elegant Defense, The Extraordinary New Science of the Immune System, tells the stories of 4 people whose lives were deeply affected by their immune systems, not always in good ways. Richtel starts with the story of Jason Greenstein, his longtime buddy from high school.
He was all-state baseball and basketball and great-looking guy, got all the girls. His life kind of went through some wayward turns, and when we were in our 40s, he came down with cancer. And it looked like he just wasn't going to be able to beat it. He had 15 pounds of lymphoma in his back, doubling every few weeks, and this was after years of radiation and chemotherapy. And his oncologist in Denver tearfully said, "Jason, I love you. Time to go home and die." And Jason went home, essentially in hospice, but at the last second, he took this crazy Hail Mary immunotherapy drug, which was intended to stoke his immune system to attack the tumor. And a couple weeks after taking it, his girlfriend woke him up and said, "Jason, get out of bed. Your tumor has disappeared." And Lazarus-like, he rose from the grave.
Jason died a year later when the cancer returned. But those initial results from immunotherapy gave researchers, patients, and their loved ones tremendous hope. And it still does today. But Richtel pleads caution.
You tinker with the immune system at your own risk. And when you tinker with it, when you turn up the volume or turn it down, there are tremendous potential side effects. For instance, in Jason's case, if and when his immune system was turned up to fight the cancer, it led to all kinds of other side effects when you had too powerful an immune system inside his body. It doesn't mean these treatments are bad. they can have enormous promise. But please be informed. Readers be informed. Listeners, consumers be informed.
Other times, the immune system is too powerful and gets confused. It may start attacking the good guys, as in an autoimmune disorder.
Way disproportionate women are susceptible to autoimmune disease, and it actually makes a lot of sense when you hear the theories behind that. So, first of all, women confer immunity to babies through gestation. They do it through breastfeeding. They have been traditionally caregivers. They have more fat cells, typically, which can mean more immune system cells. And there's also more genetic material associated with the immune system that connects to the X chromosome. All of this is by way of saying that women get a tremendous trade-off. They live longer, in part because they have a healthier immune system, but they're more susceptible to an immune system that can get out of balance. I talk about 2 women in this book who have autoimmune disorders, and I can't say enough how vivid, painful, important, and worth understanding both their cases and the cases around us.
Autoimmune disorders are real and can be excruciating to live with. But Richtel says all too often society has dismissed the complaints of people who suffer from them.
How often can you remember hearing the phrase, maybe it's all in your head? It is not in your head. There is an attack going on in your body, your own body attacking your joints, your gut, your leading to fatigue. I think if this book, if for anybody, it's for people who are living with someone with autoimmune disorders so you can understand how real this is. Just because it feels invisible or just because there's no parasite doesn't make it not real.
The way to get an effective, balanced immune system is to train it, not tinker with it.
It has to be trained on how hard to hit and under what circumstances. And the way it gets trained is by getting inputs from the natural world. And over some years, people began to realize that allergies were rising among populations that were excessively hygienic. And it began to suggest, this was the initial theory, the hygiene hypothesis, that when we overly sanitize our world and get rid of pathogens around us, bacteria, virus, and parasite that could be harmful, we cease to train the immune system effectively. But since that time, we've come to understand that actually it's broader than the hygiene hypothesis, that what's going on now, we think, is something called the old friends mechanism.
Richtel says our immune system needs germs, or old friends as it were, to work properly. But instead, we overly sanitize our environment.
I'm talking about the generic term goop that I pour on my children every time they touch a banister. That when we do that, we starve our immune system not just of potentially dangerous pathogens, but of all those non-threatening microbes that actually are teaching our immune system how to behave properly. And so I would urge people either to read the book or think about this idea that what really we want is hygiene but not hysteria. Germophobia may be making us sicker.
So if you pull your sleeve down over your hand every time you touch a doorknob, you're actually doing your immune system a disservice.
You do not need to do that. I mean, truthfully, you're trying to spare yourself, I'm not sure what, a head cold, the flu by not touching that, but the reality is that your interactions with the natural world not only for the most part aren't going to harm you, but if you get sick occasionally, it is part of the training ground of your immune system. It's a different conversation when somebody is 85 years old and has a weakened immune system. But we're not talking about that right now. Or when someone is in surgery. We're talking about you interacting with the world. I am way less germophobic since I wrote the book, and I don't think I'm any sicker or less sick than I was before, probably. Hey, you're going to get a head cold sometime. Okay, you're going to be healthier for it. If I had to say one of the key lessons of the book here is loosen up.
So if your child picks a cookie off the floor and eats it, don't worry about it. She's building a healthy immune system. You can learn more about the extraordinary new science of the immune system in Matt Richtel's book, An Elegant Defense, available now. You can learn more about all our guests by visiting our website at radiohealthjournal.net. Our writer-producer this week is Polly Hansen. Studio production by Jason Dickey. I'm Nancy Benson.
Radio Health Journal returns in just a moment.
May is American Stroke Month, and while not all strokes can be prevented, up to 80%, including recurrent strokes, may be, with a few changes, like not smoking, eating healthfully, being physically active, and maintaining a healthy weight. People who've survived one stroke are at a higher risk of having another, according to Dr. Mitchell Elkind of Columbia University.
About 1 in every 4 stroke survivors will have another one. The best way to reduce your stroke risk is to live a healthy lifestyle and work with your doctor on a prevention plan. Also, ask your doctor if a daily aspirin or other medications for secondary stroke prevention are right for you.
More than 116 million people in the U.S. have high blood pressure, and fewer than half have it under control, putting them at increased stroke risk. Nothing causes more strokes than uncontrolled high blood pressure. Learn more at strokeassociation.org/stroke month.
As Americans, we love to snack. In fact, according to a recent report by Mintel, 94% of Americans snack each day. While 2/3 of us admit to snacking to satisfy a craving, 1/3 are trying to snack on healthier foods. Some foods can meet both needs. Registered dietitian Courtney Romano is a health advisor for the California Table Grape Commission.
Fresh grapes are a perfect snack because not only do they taste great, they're healthy too. A bonus is the grapes are ripe and ready to eat when you buy them. And they're a packable snack that you can bring with you when you're out and about.
Grapes from California are also a natural source of antioxidants and other polyphenols and may contribute to heart health. With just 90 calories for a 3/4 cup serving, no fat or cholesterol, and virtually no sodium, fresh grapes are a smart choice. For more information, visit grapesfromcalifornia.com.
What are you going to do with your old car? You can try selling it, you could junk it, or you can donate it to Heritage for the Blind. Your car will be towed away for free, and your donation is tax deductible. Just call 1-800-835-1478. Heritage for the Blind accepts cars, vans, trucks, and boats. It doesn't matter if your vehicle runs or not. It will be towed away for free, and you'll be supporting those that need help. Heritage for the Blind is a nonprofit organization that helps the visually impaired live fuller lives. Call right now to donate your car, and as a special thank you, you'll receive a free 3-day vacation voucher to over 50 locations. Call Heritage for the Blind right now. Call 1-800-835-1478. Donating is easy, and your vehicle is towed away for free. Plus, you'll get a free vacation voucher for donating. Call now, 1-800-835-1478. That's 1-800-835-1478.
Thank you for listening to Radio Health Journal, a production of MediaTrax Communications. If you enjoyed this week's show, please leave a review on iTunes or share it with a friend. You can find more Radio Health Journal stories about health, science, and technology on iTunes, Stitcher, and at radiohealthjournal.net.